Well, unlike the others, Daniel Green, Quinn's Ideas of Myself, or even, yes, Secrets of Dune, I am dedicated to giving you the real, very real fantasy news, and it is an update that was reported and no one really cared. Not even the channels reporting on this stuff seemed to even bother to do the update. But it is happening. Taika promises, yes. Akira, which has been in development for decades, he's gonna do it. He really promises this time. The script is ready. He just had to do Thor, Love, and whatever that was. But now, long last, yes, it's official. He will be getting to it. Now, of course, it's Taika, it's the MCU, it's Star Wars, so a few complications. First of all, he said before he was going to do a Star Wars film, then he would do Akira. But now he's Akira first, then Star Wars. And adding to all this is he's supposed to do something with Jodorowsky. And if you're not a Dune super fan, you may be like, who the hell is that? Well, Jodorowsky was the first director to be tapped to do Dune. Yes, before David Lynch, there was another, and they were very, very close to doing it. Jodorowsky famously has a massive book full of designs, ideas. They gathered the actors, they were talking to people. In fact, Charlotte Rampling, who was in Dune Part 1 and Part 2, she was a part of that film. This was really going to happen, but then it collapsed. Jodorowsky still has a lot of the designs. I would recommend, if you are a Dune fanatic, to look them up. The designs are insane. They are crazy, they're very inventive and creative. Are they faithful to the book? Well, they have some ties to the book. Taika was supposed to do something with the Dune guy, or one of the Dune people, but how's he going to fit this into the schedule? I don't know. But Jodorowsky seems to like Taika. They're working on something. He's a busy guy. He's got a very busy schedule. So is he going to make time in between relationships and other projects? I don't know, but the official word is yes, he is doing Akira. And to top it off, he promises, double, triple promise, he will not be doing the animated film. A lot of people are very touchy about that, including myself. I really love Akira. I saw it at a very young age. It's incredible. It's a mind-blowing experience. I will warn people, it is very graphic. It is extremely graphic. So if you're a little young, it may be too intense. But if you know anime and manga, yeah, the blood and sex, there's a lot of that. It is a very intense experience. I don't want to ruin the story. It's a very intriguing conspiracy thriller with bikers and gangs and just a lot of conspiracies. A very Dune-like story, but in its own flavor. And so I think the idea to not tap into the animated film is fine. He's going to do the books. He promises only the first 6 volumes of the manga. That is what he's going to adapt. He's adapting the manga. He is not going to be touching the animated film. So don't worry. That is its own thing. It will not be touched in any way. I'm sure there will be allusions and references and that kind of thing, but it will not be tapped into as source material. But again, Akira has been in the works for decades. So many directors, so many writers, including the Black Adam director apparently, were tasked to do it. Warner Brothers wants to make money from this thing, but it has not happened. And I will give my final thoughts. I don't think it will happen. I think Taika will do Star Wars first. Hopefully he will do something with Jodorowsky. I think that would be a nice merger of styles with him and Jodorowsky. He promises he will do Akira. He's promised before. Yes, there was COVID. Yes, there was the Thor issue in the MCU. But, I mean, it's a little silly. I mean, he says, well, I have a Thor commitment. It's money. It's a contract. You don't have to do it. I don't think Feige literally enslaved him to do another Thor sequel. He made a choice. But, fine, whatever. He had to do Thor. And I didn't like Ragnarok at all. I think it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. But, Love and Thunder was decent. I think it's overhated. I think some people are now overpraising it, but, it's fine. So he is a very talented director. If this feels like Winds of Winter all over again, they're working on it, working on it, working on it, working on it. It's been a whole decade. We're getting into a new decade. I do think we're going to get Akira before we get Winds of Winter, but in the case of both projects, don't hold your breath. It will take some time to get there. So officially, Akira is still happening, but I am skeptical. But it is a shame a lot of the channels that allegedly fantasy fanatics and cover the fantasy didn't even bother to report this. But, good reasons for skepticism, but maybe it will happen. But then maybe not.